going on, y'all, and welcome back to another video. So as you can probably tell by the title or thumbnail of this video, we are finally getting around to doing a full boat tour slash review video. I've been putting off this video for way too long, y'all. If this is your first time tuning in to my channel, and if you haven't been keeping up for the last, I don't know, year or so, what's up? My name is Jamie. This is my boat. This is the 18-foot Xpress Bass Boat, and I made a video kind of introducing it, and I told y'all in that video that I was gonna do a review slash tour of it in like a month or so after posting that first video. Since then, it's been over a year, probably like 14, 15 months since that video. So we're finally getting around to it now, y'all. I kept putting it off. You know, I got it kind of like mid to late spring last year. I spent a lot of time on it throughout the spring, summer, fall, and I was planning on doing this video in the winter time. Never got around to it in the winter time. Spring came back around, fishing got good again, and then it was good until the last few weeks. It's just been getting tough. So it's finally time to do this video, y'all. It's a long time coming, and I'm really excited to get into it. Real quick though, before we get into it, I just wanted to remind y'all that I am in no way sponsored or being paid by any of the companies I'm going to be talking about in this video. So I don't have any sponsors, so you don't have to worry about me being biased or being paid to say anything. Another thing is that this is my first bass boat, so I don't have a whole lot of experience with other boats that I can compare to this one. So if I miss anything that you're wondering about this boat, definitely leave them in the comments below and I'll be happy to respond to them. So with all that being said, y'all, let's get right into it. Stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Okay, so starting up here at the front of the boat, first thing that's up here is my trolling motor. So this is the Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motor. If you guys remember, if you're unaware, the boat that I had before this boat, I should have mentioned this earlier, but the boat I had before this boat was actually a 12-foot John boat that I converted into a bass boat. Trolling motor that I had on that boat was just a little hand control, I think Minn Kota Edge or something like that, Endura, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was a little hand controlled trolling motor that I turned the handle around so that you could have it on the front and control it from the front. And so stepping up from that to now probably one of the nicest trolling motors on the market right now, it's been a dream. I mean, just having a foot control is a huge step up from what I had before. But yeah, Minn Kota Ultrex, I got the 80 pound thrust. I haven't had any problems with it so far. I've heard some people talking about problems with it. Haven't really noticed, like, I haven't had to get it fixed or anything like that. Haven't any problems like that. I beat it up pretty hard. You know, there's a lot of wear on it. You know, the paint's coming off down here on this thing, and up here too, it's coming off, and the transducer that I have installed right here is getting scratched up and stuff, and the blades are still in good shape though, and it works fine. I haven't had any problems as far as having to get it fixed or having to take it in to get it worked on or anything like that yet. The only thing that I've noticed, or only problems that I've had with it, is that it got loud. I don't know what happened to it. After probably like 2 or 3 months of using it, I noticed that it started to get louder. I haven't really noticed that it's still been getting louder, but it definitely got louder from when I first got it until like 3 months after I got it. What I mean by that is not the motor actually spinning, or it's not the prop spinning, it's actually the turning of the trolling motor. So when I turn it with my foot, you guys might be able to hear it. It's definitely gotten louder. It was quieter than that before. It's not too big of a deal, but it could definitely be improved. I could use some quieter equipment when I'm up shallow, trying to be stealthy and stuff. But what I've learned is just to gently kind of turn it and stuff. And it's definitely quieter when I do that. If you're just aggressive with it, and it's just like, I mean, that's what gets annoying. That's what makes it loud. So let me know if you guys know how to fix that, if you guys know how to make it quieter. It is what it is. And other than that, I love the trolling motors. I will say spot lock in calm conditions, just like how we're in right now, slick calm, glass calm, there's nothing to kind of work against it. And that's where it shines best, is when there's wind, current, when there's something to push against it. That's when it can keep you like right where you need to be. And it can be kind of annoying because in the calm stuff like this, when there's no wind, it kind of like lags, I guess. I don't know, like I'll put in a spot lock and it'll almost like forget, and then we'll slowly drift over a little bit by like a little breeze or just the water kind of just natural kind of like slow water current, and then it'll almost like it's like waking up, and it's like, oh crap, like I need to move back, and it'll like shoot us over back to the other side, and then it'll like overshoot itself and have to shoot us back over the other side. And it can be a little bit of annoying in calm stuff especially, but when you are in current, when you have something to work against it, that's when it shines best. And I've had it work in really strong current. Like I was surprised that it could work this strong. Like, you know, obviously depending on where you're fishing at, if you're fishing in like super duper strong current, maybe go with something a little bit heavier than an 80-pound thrust if you are getting the same kind of size boat that I am. But I've taken this thing out in a few different rivers. I've taken it out in the inshore doing some saltwater fishing, and I've had this thing in some current that has just been ripping, and it held up good. So let's move on to this graph right here. This is the Garmin EcoMaps Plus. I think this is the 9-inch screen. I like it a lot. I do like the Garmin's a lot. I have a Garmin up here and a Humminbird on my console. So, you know, I had this before I bought the boat. I had this on my John boat, and I decided to put it on here because we didn't have anything to put up here. I had the graph on the back, but I didn't have anything to put up front besides this. You know, maybe I could have sold it and got a Humminbird, because if you are unaware, Minn Kota and Humminbird, they work together. Actually, on the Ultrex, you have a built-in Humminbird transducer right here. It's only 2D and down scan, but that's all you really need for your front graph, just so you can see what's directly under you. And then obviously you can install stuff like front facing sonars. But I've had some problems with this. I've had to make a few repairs to this cord because of it getting wrapped around the trolling motor and spot lock, like I was saying, how it moves around a lot when it's calm. And so this cord ended up getting wrapped around this, and it ended up ripping it, and I had to rewire it. And then it's happened again in different areas and stuff. I've had to repair it a few times now. What's nice about the Ultrex, like I said, is that it has a Humminbird transducer already on it, and it's actually, the wire goes straight through the thing, so you don't have to worry about this external wire around it causing all these problems. Only thing you have to worry about is plugging this into your Humminbird. But other than that, I do like the Garmin's a lot. Maybe one day I'll switch everything over to one. You know, if maybe eventually I'll switch this to a Humminbird, and, you know, keep that a Humminbird and keep this a Minn Kota, or maybe I'll switch this to a Garmin trolling motor, keep this Garmin, maybe make that Garmin. You know, right now I currently don't have the money to do anything like that, so that would be something way in the future if I ever did do something like that, but it is something that I would like to do eventually. So anyways, do like the Garmin up here. You know, I like their down imaging or the down scan. I think they call it clear view is this one up here, and then 2D is this one right here. I like them both. I've used them to catch fish like vertical jigging before, and I do like it a lot. Obviously these don't pair up too well. They don't do bad, but if I could have it my way, I would have either the Garmin trolling motor and a Garmin here, or maybe a Humminbird. But that's stuff that I'll have to do in the future, and for now it is what it is. It works well and it gets the job done, and I'm very thankful for it. So moving on to my front deck. All right, moving on to the front deck of the boat, where I like to spend as much time up here as I can, but with summer here and the fish deep and acting tough, I've been spending a lot of time back here, which is not as fun, but once you find those fish and you can get up here, it can be fun. But anyways, this front deck is very spacious. I have a lot of room up here. I can easily fish with at least one other person with me. I think I've had up to like 3 people standing up here with me, and maybe one in the back, or maybe 2 in the back, one other up here with me. There's a lot of room on this boat. It's a nice and wide boat, even though that it is 18 feet. It's very wide. I mean, I can lay down flat right here in the back. Like I can stretch out and not have to worry about my feet or my head hitting either side. And I'm like 6'3", 6'4", like good amount of room back there. There's a good amount of room up here at the front too, and I like that a lot. It makes it easy for having, you know, extra rods out on deck, having a net up here. It's easy for friends and stuff to fish up here with me if we need to. Moving into the rod locker. So yeah, we got the rod locker right here. I got 13 rods in here right now. I could definitely fit probably 5 or 6 more. There's a lot of room in this rod locker. The only problem that I have about this rod locker is that actually on the inside, I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if you guys can see up in there. It kind of just ends like the nice carpeted stuff that you see in here. You know, it's nice carpeted, protecting your rods and stuff. You go further in there and it just kind of ends. There's nothing to really protect your rods, and it goes straight into like the raw aluminum boat hull with a lot of sharp objects and a lot of things sticking out to catch your rods on, to break your rod tips on and break your guides and stuff. And so I don't know if they have fixed this yet in their more updated models. I don't know if I said it earlier, but this is a 2019 model. model, and so they could have already fixed this problem in some of their newer models, but I don't know if they did or not. So it's definitely something you're gonna have to look into if you're thinking about getting one of the newer models. And so yeah, I definitely suggest getting rod socks for all of your rods. I mean, I would get rod socks anyways. It's just a good investment to, you know, keep your rods safe. But if you don't have rod socks and you're about to get this boat, definitely get all your rods covered. I've broken a couple rod tips in here. It's not fun. And the way I've tried to kind of combat this problem is what I've done is I've actually taken a piece of boat carpeting or outdoor carpeting. It was actually the same carpet that I used for my old John boat that I converted into a bass boat. But I took some of that and I rolled it into like a cone shape, and then I shoved it up all the way as far as I can up to the nose of the boat. And I basically just put my rods in the cone part of it. Definitely been times where it's kind of like slipped and stuff, and it exposed the rods to the dangerous stuff. You know, obviously up there we have a lot of wiring, a lot of screws going in and stuff, and that's where your rod tips are going up to. And so I've gotten my rods caught on some stuff up there. I don't know exactly what's going on up there, but I have gotten my rods caught on some stuff and it ended up breaking them. And it's not fun at all. You know, I think Xpress could definitely do a better job on that. Aside from that, I do like the rod locker because there is space. If they did add stuff like those like little PVC rod tubes where there's like a couple of them down here and they're just kind of like spread out and you can only fit, you know, a certain amount of rods. Here I have a whole lot of freedom. I mean, like I said, I have 13 in here now. I could definitely fit 5 or 6 more. Definitely a lot of room in here, and I do like that a lot. And since there isn't anything to kind of restrict me from putting more in, that is a big plus. I guess the only other thing you should know about this rod locker is that the max that I can fit in this one, remember this is an 18-foot boat. I don't know if it's different for the longer models of this boat, but the longest rod I can fit in here is 8 foot. I've tried, I have a big swim bait rod, a big 8'6" swim bait rod, and I've tried to put that in here and it does not fit, and so I have to end up putting it in here, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I think 8 foot is about the serious max of that. And so now moving on to this middle hatch. This is the tackle. This is probably my second favorite compartment in here. This is where I keep my tackle. I got my net in here. I got a GoPro stick. That's my mount for the back. Bait knocker on an old cut down rod. Definitely suggest getting one of these. I got all of my hard baits in here. I got some leader line in here. I got some fluorocarbon, some copoly, and even some mono. And I got like dyes and scents and stuff in a different bag. I should probably double bag that in case the dye leaks. This hatch, this middle hatch, this is the only hatch that I really wish that they did this for. As you can hear, that thing is, oh, that thing sounds horrible. I'm sorry for any headphone users right now. Thing sounds horrible, and that is because you see these hinges right here? See how they're kind of popping out? I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're kind of coming out right there. And I don't know if you guys can notice what's going on with this, but there's nothing to support this. All this weight is on these hinges. You can see right here, there's like this thing's coming out. I didn't even see, that's the first time I noticed that, but you can see all of this whole door's weight, which is a pretty, you know, heavy aluminum door going all the way down, and it's just resting on the hinges. There's nothing to support it or anything like that, and that I do not like. Oh, it sounds horrible. What I wish I could have and probably end up installing is one of those like hydraulic ones. I don't know exactly what they're called, but those like hydraulic opener things. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Those ones that you kind of open up and it's just like, you know, it has the hydraulic stuff in it. I want to install that, and you know, it would have been nice if Xpress did that prior. And really this one door is the only door that I think really needs it. Having just that one for this door, it would be nice because, you know, when I'm alone, I can just open it and lean it back here, and it's not that big of a deal if I need to get out lures and stuff. But if I do have a friend with me and I'm like, if I want to get a new lure out and I'm like, hey man, come take the trolling motor, I'm about to tie on a new lure. And so they'll come up here, they'll get on the trolling motor, and I'll either have to open it like this, go in here and lean it on my shoulder, go in here, get what I need out, or I'll have to lean it on them, or if they have to get something out of here, they'll have to lean this on me, like on the back of our legs. And that's just, it's just annoying. And it would be so much nicer if it just had the, you can't even hear me do the noise because this thing's so loud, because it's putting all this stress on these hinges and it's making it squeak. That's one of the biggest things that I don't like. This and the rod locker are probably the two biggest things that piss me off the most about this boat. There's maybe one more thing, but those two things are something that I really think that they could improve. They might have already, who I don't know. Like I said, this, you know, this generation of this boat is 3 years old. It's almost 4 years old now. So, you know, they could have improved this by now. Let me know if they have, but if they haven't, that's something that y'all should think about. Xpress, if you guys are watching this. And like I was saying, these, they can just lean up here on the side and it's no big deal. But this one, this middle hatch, this is the one that I think they could definitely improve on with just that one hydraulic thing. All you needed to install is one. That would be key. But anyways, moving on to this hatch, we got all my soft plastic baits. Got some more line that I'll actually spool my rods up with. We got the good old life jackets and throw cushion in there. I got the covers for the grafts, and that's about it in there. I got all my soft plastics in there. Anyways, that's about it for the front deck. I got some tools right here. They're rusty, but they still work. Split ring pliers and needle nose pliers right there. I got some more split ring pliers because you can never have enough of those. Scissors. Yeah, that's about it for like the front deck. Now moving on to, I guess, well, I don't even know what you call this. The middle of the boat, the cockpit. I don't know what you want to say. These seats are super comfy. Really nothing to complain about with the seats at all. You know, like I said, I haven't experienced many other bass boat seats and just any other bass boats in general, so I can't really compare them that much. But as far as just comparing them to seat-wise, especially on a boat, they're pretty dang comfy. This thing bumps pretty well. You got some speakers for more, you know, luxuriousness, I guess you could say. This little thing is nice. This is trash. I need to empty it out actually, but a good amount of trash can fit in there. Something that would be cool for Xpress to do. This is not like something that I have a problem with, but if they did this, I think it'd be a cool little add-on. Maybe find some type of trash can that can fit in there perfectly, and so you can take it out and just dump it into the bigger trash can in your garage or something, dump it out and then put it back in there so you don't have to go digging into it. I don't know if they even designed this to be a trash can. That's what I use it for, and it would be nice to be able to do that. And obviously I can go probably find something that fits in it pretty well, but if they had something that was made to like fit it perfectly, that would be sweet. And this is nice. You got a little bumper board right here, Xpress one, and then also right here for the passenger seat, you got a place for your co-anglers rods. You got a little strap down thing right here so they can make sure their rods are nice and secure. You can fit probably about 4 rods in here, I'd say is about max. Whenever I have friends in here that are bringing more than that many rods, they'll normally just kind of lean them right here and have them kind of just going off to the side, and they'll just sit kind of like over them, I guess. Moving on to what's in between the two seats. Typically if I have more than 2 people in here and, you know, someone would like to sit somewhere, I'll get our throw cushion out and I'll just put it right here and they'll sit on that, and it's normally, you know, it's not the comfiest, but it's comfier than sitting on just nothing. Moving on to what's in here, and I believe this was designed to be a cooler. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but this is what I use it for. I need to clean this thing out, but as you can see, it's plastic. I don't know exactly what it was made to be, but I use it as a cooler and it works good. I have used it with just this, and like I haven't put ice in it, but I'll take like frozen packs or ice packs or whatever and put them in here, like the reusable ones. But what I've done is I've found this thing, this soft cooler, and I've put it in here to add extra insulation and to keep my stuff extra cold, especially in the summertime like this. And under the seats, I forgot to say about that. So yeah, we have storage under the seats. This is pretty nice. I got marker buoys, catch release, scale, lip grippers, measuring board, good amount of storage in here, and it goes back pretty far. You know, there's a good amount of room in there. And then same thing with the driver's seat. Got sunscreen, front light, fire extinguisher, but yeah, just like random like boat necessity storage. And I guess moving on to the driver's seat now, the captain's seat. This spot is where I spend a good amount of time, especially lately during the summer, like I said earlier. That time of year where you're going to be behind the wheel a lot, graphing around, looking for fish. And I've been learning the graph a little bit more. I will say, comparing Humminbird to the Garmin, I will say Humminbird is a little bit harder to learn. It's a little bit harder to get the settings right. Garmin, it's pretty good right out of the box. Like I haven't even messed with any of the settings as far as the down imaging, or I guess they call it clear view, and the 2D. I haven't messed with any of those settings, and it works really well. Once you learn the settings on the Humminbird, I will say they're pretty even. I do have the Lake Master chip in here. This is the Helix 9, by the way, if anyone's wondering. So it's a 9-inch screen, and I got the good old Lake Master chip, and I have that kind of customized. And then besides the graph, obviously we got the steering wheel, and if you look right here, you might notice something about the graph and the steering wheel. Yeah, the steering wheel is kind of in the way of the graph. And what kind of sucks about that is that this boat came like this. It came with the Humminbird in it. I don't know if the dealership did this or if Xpress sent it out like this. This is cut into the console. And so if I wanted to switch it out, it's gonna be a hole in there. And what also sucks is that the steering wheel is in the way, so it's blocking my view of being able to see the screens. So I have to lean forward like this, and it's got my posture all screwed up and stuff. If I graph for more than a couple hours, my neck will be absolutely killing me, and it sucks. It's kind of annoying how they didn't just add some type of mount so I can move it around and then I could, you know, have it higher up. I don't know. Eventually, I think I do want to get a second grapher back here so I can have like one with, you know, mapping and maybe like 2D on it or something, and one with like down scan, side scan and stuff. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is probably putting a Humminbird up there to match, to go with the trolling motor, and then, you know, obviously connecting the Humminbird that's up there to this one. And then probably gonna put the Garmin maybe somewhere right here, maybe right here, I don't really know yet. I have multiple different options, more screen space, and so I can see better onto the screen and stuff, and just have more options for that. That would be nice. And so that's what I think I'll end up doing as far as updates go on the boat. That'll be like probably the first thing I update when I am able to do that. But for now, this is what I work with, and it's been getting the job done. I've been catching some good fish doing this. You got your switches over here, your ignition, throttle. I don't have a hot foot. That is also something I would like to have eventually. That'll probably something I'll update later, but a hot foot would be nice. I don't have one of those right now, just using the throttle, which isn't that big of a deal. Moving on to the back deck. Okay, moving on to the back deck now. You know, I got hoodie. This is normally where I put all my layers. You got the Express bag that came with it. This has like the owner's manual, other random stuff in here. This little dry bag. I like this thing a lot, actually. It's cool that they included this. Very spacious. You can fit a good amount of stuff in here. Your co-anglers can fit a good amount of tackle. You know, my buddies, whenever I have them out in the water with me, they can fit a pretty wide variety of stuff in here. You got your live wells right here, your live well. Mine didn't come with the divider. I don't know if it was supposed to, or if I'm supposed to order it separately or something, but yeah, a lot of room in this. I want to say this is like probably a 20 to 30 gallon live well. A lot of space in here. Oxygenator, that thing's sweet. Make sure it's nice and oxygenated for the fish. You got a little light in here. Moving on to my storage. Back storage back here is where I keep most of my camera gear. Just other random things in there. A lot of space in there to fit a whole lot of different things. Moving on back here. This is obviously where you got your gas tank, your batteries. I got the Minn Kota digital charger for charging my trolling motor batteries. Moving on to probably the last part of the tour, and then we'll get into some questions I want to answer. My motor. Probably one of the most important things on this boat. 115 Yamaha Showmax. Love this thing. I've always been a pretty big Yamaha fan. I've never had problems with any Yamaha. I haven't had a problem with this Yamaha at all yet. There's only been one problem that I've had with this motor over the last year of using it, and that is that I had a few fuses blow in it. And besides that, it was just some electrical problems that actually had something to do with stuff in the boat. So it had nothing to do with the actual motor having any problems. So other than that, I have not had any problems with it at all. I love Yamahas. I've always been a fan of Yamaha, and I've never really had too many problems with Yamahas. You know, even though I said I don't have much experience with bass boats, I have experience with some other boats. You know, my John boat, I did have a little 2.5 Yamaha on there. It worked great. Before that, my family had like a pleasure boat. We had a Yamaha on that. That thing worked great as well. So yeah, I love Yamaha and stuff. And with the 115 on this thing, typically it gets me, a day like today, calm out on the lake, I can get up to about 48 miles an hour with just me in here and all my gear. When I have maybe one other person in here with me, it stays at about 47, maybe 46. But there has been a time where I have gotten up to about 51 miles an hour, and I was actually down in the intercoastal waterway down at the coast of North Carolina. I had like 15, 20 mile an hour wind to my back with the current of the intercoastal going the same way as the wind, and I got it up to about 51 miles an hour, and I was pretty stoked on that. I was like, oh my God, it's the fastest I've ever been in my boat. And then the ride back sucked because I could only get it up to about 46 miles an hour. 48 miles an hour is about the max speed. If there's a way to make my motor faster as is right now by adding some other prop or something, definitely let me know, because I don't know much about that. But let me see if I have any questions. I didn't get many. I posted on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me, just look me up on Instagram. If you guys like what you see, definitely leave a follow. I posted something on Instagram about this video. I told you guys I was going to be doing this video. I didn't really get many questions about the boat, and I posted on my YouTube community as well, and I didn't get too many, but I did get a couple, so we'll respond to them. The only question I got on Instagram was, how fast does your boat go? I just answered that, about 48 miles an hour. And then on my YouTube community post, I got 2 questions or 2 comments. One is from Aquanut86. Excited for this video as I am starting to look for a new boat. That's awesome, dude. Hope you can find something good. I hope this video can help you out if you're interested in getting an Xpress. He also asked any upgrades planned or things that over time have bothered you. Like I said, with the upgrades, you know, definitely I think the first thing I'm probably gonna do is get front graph up there, switch that for a Humminbird, and then probably put this Garmin back here somewhere. Really the only things that really bother me are stuff like the rod locker not having good protection in it for your rods, and then this door for the middle hatch. I think eventually I will put some of those hydraulic hinges or whatever they are on the door to make that door a little bit better. And then also the steering wheel being in the way of the graph. That's another thing that I didn't really like. But other than those things, I really am in love with this boat. I love this thing to death. And those are definitely some things that bother me. But other than that, that's about it. There's one more question, and it's from Ken Daly or Ken Daly. I'm not really sure how to pronounce your last name. Sorry, dude. He says, I'm an owner of an Xpress H20B and looking at getting some C-deck for the bow and stern platforms. What are your thoughts on it? How does it handle the heat? Is it easy to clean? Would love to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you. Wow, I can't believe I completely forgot to talk about the C-deck. That is definitely probably one of the most noticeable things about this boat as well, and I just completely forgot about it. I'm just so used to having it on here now. It's like I don't even think about bass boats having carpet anymore. It's just like I just think of C-deck now when I think of my boat. But anyways, yeah, C-deck, I love it. Love the stuff. Very comfy, very squishy, definitely very comfy to stand on all day. Very easy to clean. This kind of goes for any boat, but it's definitely better to clean it up while it's still fresh. And so if you get fish blood on here or something, don't wait till you get home to clean it. I've done that, and it is a little bit harder to clean. Not that hard at all with the C-deck, not as hard as it would be with carpet, but if you go ahead and get it out while it's still pretty fresh and like still wet, and you just go ahead and scrub it off, or you go ahead and you know, wipe it off or whatever, it's been holding up really well. I haven't noticed anything like ripping or coming up. The heat I don't know if you mean does it get hot, or if it, you know, if it starts to age in the heat or whatever. Haven't noticed it in the heat at all. You know, obviously I had it for basically all of last summer. There hasn't been anything peeling up or anything as far as the corners and stuff go. If you mean like does it get hot, the actual C-deck, no. I don't know if it would get hot with like the black C-deck, but you know, I got this light gray color with the green. The actual C-deck doesn't get hot, but anywhere else, obviously like this stuff, that gets hot, this gets hot. The black right here, I think I remember watching an Xpress video about the boats, and this one pro, I don't remember his name or even who it was, but he was saying that this stuff, this like kind of bed liner stuff that they put on the bottom here, he's saying that doesn't get hot in the summertime. That is cap. That is so much cap. This thing gets scorching hot. I could probably fry an egg on it, and if you're out here barefoot on it, it can be painful. And so yeah, y'all, that is about it. I hope I covered everything that I possibly could. I really hope I didn't miss anything. If I did, and if I missed a question, or if you have something that you're wondering about the boat and I didn't get around to it, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll get back to it as soon as possible. If you're a new viewer, you know, I tend to get more newer viewers when it comes to stuff like my boat and stuff. You know, I tend to get more viewers of people researching this boat, and then people end up sticking around. And so if you do like what you see, if you have liked the video so far, be sure to check out some of my other stuff, and I'll really appreciate it. And if you do like what you see, definitely leave a like and a comment, y'all. I'll really appreciate it. We're getting really close to 2,000 subscribers, y'all. Last year on, I think before New Year's, just before New Year's of last year, right before we went into 2021, I hit 1,000, and we're already almost at 2,000. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you guys liked today's video, definitely leave a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Share this video with a friend if you think they might enjoy it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.